Well, hello everyone. Talking about right here, a topic for simple phone calls, right? And we all want to know too as to what does it usually mean whenever you do wind up making a simple phone call. A lot of times it's like pick up the phone and call the number it is. But it sure seems that way as to one simple phone call. Do you think that we'll be able to take care of a lot of things? And you're always want to know too as to okay, yeah, that maybe it used to be is most of the time if it's maybe to order tickets or maybe to take care of a bill or something like that. But you're always want to know too is that yeah, well, what if you're going to be a little bit late taking care of something or try to change plans or something like that or anything else that needs to be. I'm like, yeah, just to check up on something or something like that. So a lot of times it sure seems that way that when we do speak about phone calls, though, that most of the time that it only takes about maybe 5 or 10 minutes just to be able to make the call, right? But a lot of times it's like yeah, the person that you're talking to may not even agree with what you were talking about. Like everybody says to where yeah, one simple phone call could change everything or so, or like one simple phone call can really put it off one. But the way I think about it, though, is that when we do talk about, simple phone calls, it's like if you're going to be making a simple phone call, it's like, yeah, I'm going to be a little bit late, so I'll be right there. But on the other hand, that when we do speak about simple phone calls, though, you're always want to know, too, is that just by picking up the phone and dialing the number, and you would maybe think that should take care of it, right? Well, it me might say is to her, well, wrong, because on the other hand, it's like when we do speak about, please come to the principal's office. It sure seems that way. Is that when we talk about phone calls, though, and you're one to know too, is that any source of communication it is, and you're one to where I can, yeah, tell them I'm going to be a little bit late. I'm going to be a little bit late. Getting to that appointment. But the way I think about it, though, is that when we do speak about phone calls, though, that back in the earlier days, that most phone calls, that whenever you make a phone call, a lot of times, that you're on the phone for about maybe 5 or maybe 20 minutes total, and want to know too, yeah, you have an interview over the phone or anything else that you're going to be taking care of over the telephone, and 102 that you're thinking this to her, okay, yeah, I thought that was taken care of. Well, unfortunately, it's like, yeah, it's not all taken care of, but at the same time, it sure seems that way that people might even say, too, is to her, it's like, yeah, I'm going to be a little bit late, so I'll go ahead and go text while I'm at it. But the way I think about that is that, yeah, that when we do talk about telephones a lot of times, we might even think too is to where they talk about the typical phone tag. Who is ready to pick up the phone as soon as it rings? So it sure seems that way that how soon are we really ready whenever it comes to waiting for that phone call to come? Like, but the way I think about that is that yeah, how soon are we ready to be able to pick up the phone as soon as it rings? You're thinking too. But the way I think about it is that when we do speak about telephones, though, and you're one of too, is that yeah, that is like an hello, but it's like yeah, you're one toward one simple phone call. You think that we'll be able to take care of everything, but in case if we're all want to know too, is that yeah, the person that you're talking to, by the way, they're not really able to recognize all what you are talking about or anything like that, or like, yeah, there was a change in plans or there was a change in arrangements, but at the time you want to know too that, yeah, that they don't see the big picture too much of the time, so that's why you're always want to know too, is that yeah, that people might even say too, is that maybe just a little bit a sound is really just going to go ahead and, like anybody say, that yeah, if you're going to be on video call or something like that. But really, what is one way of how to be able to work that out with if you're going to be on the telephone talking about something and thinking as to where, okay, yeah, we spoke over the phone, so that would take care of it, right? But still, it sure seems that way, that whenever you're going to be talking over the telephone with somebody, it sure seems that way, that yeah, good to hear your voice and everything, but it sure seems that way as to where that for how the calls were handled, mainly, in case of anybody says, like, yeah, show me how you do that. And people might even say too that, yeah, more likely that if there was a change in plan or something like that, or anything else by request, it sure seems that way, that everybody is basically saying this to where that, would you please show me how you did that? If it really impressed everybody. So it's like, yeah, people that you were talking to, and you're 102, yeah, if you're able to help guide somebody, or like, yeah, you talk about something over the phone, but a lot of times it's like, yeah, just ask nicely and for sure. But a lot of times, with most of the time, most phone calls for sure, you should already know that if you're going to be on the phone for 5 minutes talking about something, it's all about the experience, ain't it? You get experience just by, it's like, yeah, you might be a little bit late while you're at it. Or as I say, like, yeah, I'll be right there. So, yeah. So it sure seems that way, that whenever you are ready to pick up the phone, or for any reason at all, that whenever you do hear that telephone ring, that people might even say is to where, hey man, yeah, where you at? I want to know too is that, yeah, the phone rang about 5 times. Yeah, well, yeah, I'm in the basement. I'm working on something on the furnace, all right? So I'm just like, yeah, you pick up the phone again, like, yeah, I'm in the garage. I'm working on something in the counter right here. So would you please, like, yeah, leave me a message. So it sure seems that way, that when we talk about phone calls a lot of times, and you're 102, is that yeah, it might be a little bit late while you're at it, but it's like, yeah, do we think that phone calls are not really made to take care of everything? But at least it's like, yeah, whenever you do speak about phone calls a lot of times, you might think it's toward it, yeah, based on the experience of making phone calls, though, you're 102, is that yeah, well, the communication was, but at the same time, it was like, yeah, that what is the main purpose about making a simple phone call a lot of times? People might even say is toward it, yeah, well, it's all about the typical catch up, right? Just calling to see how you're doing, and yeah, like that. But on the other hand, too, it's like talk about for simple phone calls.